Did you know the galaxy in the Super Mario Galaxy logo is actually the Andromeda Galaxy? In 2020, Twitter user Comet Medal discovered the original picture of space used for the logo. Instead of making new art for it, Nintendo used a picture taken by Robert Gendler of the Andromeda Galaxy, the Milky Way's closest neighbor. One of the most loved aspects of Mario Galaxy ended up being the character of Rosalina. Adding a new character to the Mario lore was something the game's director, Yoshiaki Koizumi, was very passionate about. Since starting at Nintendo, Koizumi has always tried to add more story elements to the Zelda and Mario franchises, and he's often at odds with the series creator Shigeru Miyamoto. While Miyamoto calls for a minimalist story and focuses on the core gameplay, Koizumi, who studied film, wants to enrich the worlds with storytelling to create a memorable experience. In an interview with Wired, Koizumi discussed this clash with Miyamoto, saying, "For a long time, it really felt like telling a story in a Mario game was something that wasn't allowed. But I felt in this case that the Lumas and Rosalina really needed a story to explain what they were doing out there and to give the players a deeper understanding of their presence." It was from this desire that Rosalina and her backstory were added to Super Mario Galaxy. Naturally, during development, Rosalina saw a number of revisions as the team tried to figure out the best way to incorporate the character and her story. Some ideas for the storybook were scrapped, but were reworked into the main game. Another interesting fact is that at one point, Koizumi suggested he wanted the storybook to be sold as an actual children's book. Another thing that developed over time is Rosalina's appearance. We already covered some changes to Rosalina's design in an earlier video, but new information has come to light. Originally, Rosalina wasn't always going to dwarf Mario in size. When Nintendo EAD manager Hideki Kono saw Rosalina, he felt she should be taller. Speaking to Nintendo Dream, Kono recounted the experience, saying, "When Mario Galaxy was in production, I offered my advice. I wanted to include Rosalina in Mario Kart, but her body type was very similar to other characters. So I asked them if they could make her a bit taller. I told them, after all, Nintendo might use Rosalina in other games in the future. Partly because of her height, Rosalina would become a heavyweight class racer when she debuted in Mario Kart Wii, separating her from the other characters and becoming the only female racer in that weight class in the game." When it became time to work on Super Mario Galaxy 2, Koizumi and Miyamoto would clash again. Despite being a numbered sequel to the first game, Galaxy 2 is not a continuation of the events from the first game, and instead retells the events of the first game. In an interview with Wired, when talking about the role of the story in Galaxy 2, Miyamoto stated, "Well, I put a stop to that at the beginning this time," and punched his fists in the air. Many reviews were disappointed by Galaxy 2's lack of story. But Koizumi and Miyamoto would find their balance 7 years later with the release of Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch, which featured more story elements than Galaxy 2. Within the E3 demo of Super Mario Galaxy, there are a number of differences from the final game. The Wii Remote originally had more functionality, being able to swipe away projectiles such as the fireballs that King Caliente shoots out. King Caliente's boss fight was reworked considerably, with the final game being a lot easier than the demo. In fact, when Mario Galaxy first began development, the team experimented with using more motion and pointer controls to move Mario, using the still-in-development Wii Remote. However, they felt like it wouldn't be a Mario game if you're not controlling Mario moving around, so they went back to a more standard control scheme. Another difference in the game was the music that plays when Mario collects a Power Star. Originally, the game played an orchestrated rendition of the flagpole theme from Super Mario Bros. The look of the Toads was also different. In the demo, they had a star pattern on them, which was removed in the final game. Toads could also transform from bunnies, while in the final version, bunnies only transform into Lumas. Speaking of music, the Toy Time Galaxy theme appears to be based on the track Mario Syndrome. This was an alternative dance remix of the Super Mario Bros. Overworld theme by Japanese act Bonus 21, which released as a 12-inch vinyl and cassette single in 1986. The Toy Time Galaxy theme features similar instrumentation and compositional choices as Mario Syndrome, though forego some of the 1986 song's dance elements. In the original Galaxy, there's an unused mushroom file. Bizarrely, removing the file will cause the game to crash instantly upon loading. This is because even though the file is technically unused, the game still checks for it. In the 3D All-Stars release, the mushroom file was removed and the error was fixed. For 3D All-Stars, Nintendo actually recompiled Galaxy's code for the Switch instead of emulating it. They also removed several pieces of unused data and files, and the Mii data, which was used in the Wii version. Some leftover data from Sunshine can be found in Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii, including a fruits boat, which, funnily enough, also went unused in Sunshine as well. Although there's plenty of unused functions in the game's code, programming for several enemies can be hacked back into the game. Parameters for Boo to contain a Goomba within it exist, meaning the player would have to kill 2 enemies instead of 1. Boos can also hold Lumas, Toads, and even different types of stars besides the Power Stars. There's also a dummy NPC with 2 animations, which was likely used just for testing. And a character named DYKG is an elderly Luma who would have had some dialogue, but was removed. Several planets were also removed or altered during the game's development. Speaking to Nintendo Dream, Miyamoto remarked that since Super Mario Galaxy relied on having multiple planets, balancing the game was easier, as planets could be added or removed to make sections of the game longer or shorter as needed. The planetoid named Water Road Cave Planet is the low polygon version of the Sand Spiral Galaxy. This suggests that instead of sand, the galaxy would have prominently featured water, but was changed. During early development, Super Mario Galaxy's levels were much darker. Since the game takes place in space, many of the game's skyboxes were darker or entirely black. Miyamoto asked the team to include blue skies so it wouldn't be too drastic of a change from other Mario titles. One idea that didn't come from Miyamoto, however, was the idea to add Luigi. The team at Tokyo added Luigi to the game during some experimentation. After seeing Luigi playable in the game, Miyamoto advised them to include the brother as a bonus for those who collected the game's 120 stars. The original Mario Galaxy released in 2007, but it took over a decade to be officially released in China on the Nvidia Shield. Having such a delayed release in China wasn't always the plan, however. In 2007, it was announced that an iQ version of the Wii was planned for sale in China in 2008, but the console was later cancelled in the region. During this brief planning period, it seems Galaxy was fully localized for China. Evidence for this can be seen for the Nvidia Shield version of Galaxy, where iQ appears in the game's credits. Within this localization for the Chinese market, one line from Kamek was changed drastically. In English, Kamek tells Mario to enjoy his flight, while in the Chinese version, Kamek tells Mario to go to hell. Other boss characters in the Galaxy games have plenty of interesting secrets surrounding them. The Magikoopa Camella has a secret that's in all versions of the game. Camella's wand has a reflection effect on it, not seen on any other object in the game. If the player looks closely at the jewel on the end of it, they can see that the reflection's texture is actually the Nintendo GameCube logo. Within Galaxy 2's Throwback Galaxy, the player can fight the Whomp King. The boss actually has a special goofy face texture for when he's defeated, but because he's laying down on his front when he's beaten, it's impossible to properly see the texture. One major villain also has an inconsistency across Galaxy 1 and 2. Bowser Jr.'s teeth in the first Galaxy have 2 fangs instead of 1. This is despite the official render of Bowser Jr. showing him with just 1 fang-like tooth. This mistake was fixed in Galaxy 2. For some reason, the Tarantox boss had its gender changed in the Spanish game. In most versions of Galaxy, the Tarantox is named some variation of Spider King, but in the Spanish release, the boss is called Reina Araña, which means Spider Queen. Another interesting boss name change appears in the English release. Baron Brr is called something along the lines of Ice King in most other regions. Although the English name may just be for the sake of alliteration, some believe it might be a nod to one of the earliest American vice presidents, Aaron Burr. The Top Maniac boss went through a fair amount of changes from when it was first shown. Not only was it said to appear in a different galaxy originally, it also had a different appearance, looking more similar to a regular spinning top enemy. Did you also know that Pina Park was once part of Super Mario Sunshine's hub world and not a stage? Or that Mario 64 made Miyamoto question his son's intelligence? For more facts, check out the Did You Know Gaming videos on Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64.